Hello, hello, hello. Now, I wanted to explain a couple things to people because y'all seem to be confused. I never switched up on nobody. She switched up on her own motherfucking kids. Okay? So, a lot of y'all frontal lobes don't work. Some of y'all a little slow. So, y'all can't comprehend information even when y'all see it. Y'all don't know how to process it correctly. And, it's a gift. I'm here to help y'all, okay? So, right here, we have a lady saying I switched up on royalty. And no, royalty switched up on her own children. Okay, she talks to that nigga like that's her bestie when she's not online. She comes online and act like they're beefing when obviously they're actually cordial in real life. She comes online and plays a game with child. Okay, when they had that TikTok beef, it was clearly orchestrated, and she came out and didn't even take up for Jalea when Jalea was the first person that came out, got embarrassed a little bit by Wardrobe to take up for her little sister. And then Wardrobe proceeded to come online and start talking about his back and forth with Jalea. And she sat up there and said, nah, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the little one. And then while she was sitting up there, her friend Lola Bay was off to the corner talking about somebody got to advocate for her. Somebody got to do it. So when y'all sitting up there and a person saying little shady shit like that, when you're sitting up there and you're supposed to be advocating for your children, that's giving the indication that she was forced to go up there. And she barely even took up for Daya. And she didn't even take up for Jalea at all. Y'all gotta understand why Jalea's not at her home right now, and why she left to go be with her girlfriend, even though technically she became homeless all of a sudden and refusing to go back home. See, I ignore all that stuff. That because royalty is now working with CJ. Okay? She switched up on her own motherfucking children. You ain't gotta believe it. You can just look for yourself. Use your frontal lobe. Think a little harder. Get a little smarter. I'm not slow like some of y'all. So I know what I'm looking at. When she sat up there and said that little girl was beating her own self in the head region and causing herself all them injuries all of a sudden. See, to prove a child's been accident prone, you can't just have a couple incidents and then now the little girl getting all these head injuries back to back. And then you're one accord on with this man when y'all say, oh, she's doing it to herself. When anybody with a brain understands she's not doing all these injuries to herself. All of a sudden, out of the blue. They trying to make that little girl like she's accident prone because it seems like they was going to stage an accident and take her life away for life insurance policy. But the little boy, little buddy, he not safe neither. Because both of those children have policies on their lives. And now all of a sudden these people who was warned is all of a sudden cordial, and she's showing receipts that undermines the abuse of all her children by this man. If she was going to show that receipt, she should have blocked out that note. Royalty is intelligent, so I know when she's doing shit like that, it's intentional. Okay? If she's showing a receipt that basically is declaring his innocence, that's intentional. He left a note on that Apple Pay or whatever kind of cash receipt saying, I didn't hurt any of your children. If she's showing that, that's intentional. Look at how she talks to this man when they're not online. She could play a game with y'all because y'all slow. She can't play on my top. She switched up on her own motherfucking children. And I'm going to put in the receipts showing how she didn't take up for her daughter on TikTok. Okay? And how that little girl saying she's with her girlfriend now. And the girlfriend said her mother is going to make sure that Jalea has furniture. See, y'all could ignore all that little shit and sweep it under the rug and act like you don't understand what you're looking at. But that's a child, a young adult child, because to me, you 18, you still a child to me, that is not being supported by their own parent. So, there you go. I never switched up on nobody. She switched up on her own children. And with that being said, I'm out.
Understand that my brother, if we go back and forth and argue back and forth, but I always apologize, he always apologizes. You have to understand and accept apology. Like I said, Jalea ain't nobody to say, yes, I accept the apology or not. It's you. If you want the apology, girl, bye. I don't care about your, like, girl. But at the end of the day, I apologize right off the bat. My mouth gets.
But we wouldn't have to lead to this. We wouldn't have to lead to this. Even knowing who you are, because I don't know who you are.
We did it. Yeah, exactly. So hi, welcome. My name is Wardrobe. So, you know.
No, I'm not talking about Jalea. I'm talking about Cordea. We're talking about something totally different.
Okay, your little daughter, her mouth is lethal. So I said something back and I said, ooh, I'm sorry, because I didn't know who said that. I said, ooh, sorry. I apologize. That's what I said. And I said it loud and clear.
You don't know who said it?
She moving into my mom's house, so she moved into her apartment.
We already have the apartment and everything. We're just waiting.
My mama not finna let that girl go to no apartment with no furniture. We gotta get everything before she go move in her apartment.
A specialist, because she has had numerous head injuries back to back. Head trauma. Hello. So I'm going to circle the injuries on her head. But if y'all look, you see these 3 shiny spots on her forehead. Those are lumps. I didn't see all these lumps on Royalty's video. It's 1, 2, 3 lumps on there. I'm going to circle them and put them out.
Why is Daya and CJ still around if CJ touched you, regardless of co-parenting case? That's
because
what Chat said.
when they were fighting for them in court, my mom and CJ, nobody won. That's what y'all think. Nobody won. It was just half and half. Okay. And I didn't tell my mom and my grandma and my family till like after we heard that, Dale was getting touched on or whatever, and I just,
Yeah.